The Housing Development Corporation has officially cancelled procurement proceedings for a housing project valued at approximately $3.4 billion. In a notice issued on Wednesday, the HDC advised participating proponents that the process had been terminated with immediate effect under Section 33 of the Public Procurement and Disposal of Public Property Act. According to the HDC, quote, the HDC has determined that it is in the public interest and in accordance with the Act to discontinue the procurement proceedings for this project. The standstill period prescribed under Section 35 has elapsed and no contract has been entered into with any supplier or contractor. Consequently, no notice of acceptance shall be issued under Section 35(6) and no procurement contract shall arise from these proceedings, end quote. The corporation also stated that the reasons for the cancellation had been formally recorded in accordance with the legislation. But the cancellation has triggered criticism from former Housing Minister Camille Robinson-Regis. In a statement, Robinson-Regis said the decision confirms what she suspected, saying, quote, this confirms long-standing concerns about the integrity, management, and direction of this tendering process, end quote. She described the cancellation as both necessary and revealing, saying, quote, it is unfortunate that this situation has escalated to this point, highlighting governance and oversight failures that should never have occurred, end quote. The former minister also questioned the current leadership of the housing sector. She said, quote, since assuming office, the Ministry of Housing and the HDC have faced repeated leadership mistakes and administrative confusion, leaving the sector without clear guidance or accountability like a ship without a captain, end quote. All in all, Robinson-Regis welcomed the cancellation but said it is, quote, unacceptable that public resources and stakeholder time were wasted on a procurement process that should never have advanced in its current form, end quote. She issues these calls, adding, quote, this calls for the serious scrutiny of governance and oversight responsibilities, including a review of the roles of the chairman, the ministers overseeing the corporation, and the procurement officer, end quote. Housing Minister in the Ministry of Housing, Philip Alexander, is seeking to reassure the public that government's housing program remains on track despite the cancellation of procurement proceedings for the multi-billion-dollar HDC project. Responding to concerns raised following the announcement, Alexander said the pause in the procurement exercise does not mean the housing initiative has been abandoned. He assures that the first rollout of 3,700 houses that was paused by this release is not cancelled. Alexander said the government remains committed to expanding home ownership opportunities and indicated that financing arrangements are already in place to support construction. The minister also rejected suggestions that the housing program would favor politically connected contractors, insisting that the process will remain open to qualified developers, saying, quote, all other developers who qualify and have the capacity to deliver within set timeframes and budgets are welcome to tender, end quote. Alexander maintained, quote, the Prime Minister's promised deliverables remains our intention to place as many families in their own homes within this term remains, and that will not be deterred. He added that future procurement exercises will be conducted with a high level of transparency and public scrutiny, saying, quote, we will continue to ensure that all processes are above board and transparent beyond even the requirements of any oversight bodies, end quote. The minister said additional details, including requests for proposals and invitations to tender, will be made public in the coming weeks. The HDC has not publicly disclosed the specific reasons behind the cancellation. However, with a project of this scale now halted, questions are likely to continue over what led to the decision and whether further reviews or investigations will follow. Urvashi Tomari, Rupnarayan, TV6 News.